On July 30th, 2026, the Trump administration issued a sweeping proclamation from Washington. They had secured a historic agreement for the complete disarmaments of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. But 1,000 miles away, the physical reality is bleak. The Gaza Health Ministry reports nearly 1,200 Palestinians have died since the October 2025 ceasefire. Despite the political victory lap in the United States, the implementation of this life-saving treaty is completely frozen. Both sides have already agreed to the contents of the deal. The gridlock is purely a matter of timing, the specific order of operations required to put the plan into motion. A signed piece of paper doesn't stop the shooting if the two armies can't agree on who drops their weapons first. Looking at the blueprint, this diagram outlines an 8-month roadmap, but the entire deal hinges on what happens in these first 14 days. Step 1 dictates Hamas transfers its light arms. These aren't surrendered to Israel, but to a newly formed Palestinian National Committee. With Hamas stepping back, local security would then fall to an international stabilization force, working alongside a new Palestinian police force. Once the streets are secured, Step 2 kicks in, decommissioning all heavy weapons and military-grade rockets. Here is how this graphic maps out the final phases. As those weapons are verifiably surrendered and the disarmament progress bar fills up, Israel begins a gradual military withdrawal from the territory. The whole system is built on a tight loop of conditional trust. The new security forces only step in if Hamas disarms, and Israeli troops only pull back if that security is verified. That tight loop is exactly where the deal falls apart. Hamas leadership rejects the sequence entirely. Senior Hamas official Dazi Hamad laid out a hard-line counter-demand. Israel must pull its forces out of Gaza completely before any Palestinian weapon is surrendered. Israel's military doctrine makes that impossible. They won't withdraw troops and leave borders exposed while heavy enemy munitions remain active and pointed at them. This creates a mathematical dead end. You have two conflicting flowcharts. One side demands disarmament before withdrawal, and the other demands withdrawal before disarmament. If the first group refuses to start until the second group finishes, and the second group won't finish until the first starts, the treaty stalls on day one. So here we are in August 2026. A massive multinational peace agreement exists on paper, but it is effectively frozen at minute zero. Because there is zero institutional trust between these two warring parties, executing broad, sweeping phases like a total 14-day disarmament is an illusion. The Trump administration views this as a completed diplomatic victory, but on the ground in the Middle East, it is a logistical stalemate. Bypassing this stalemate requires mediators to re-engineer the roadmap into simultaneous, micro-phased steps. The strategy moves away from large-scale surrenders toward granular trades, attempting to exchange one specific city block for one verified weapons cache at the exact same moment. Until the timeline of trust can be synchronized in these tiny increments, grand proclamations of disarmament will remain stuck on a screen, while the reality of war keeps playing out in the streets.